folks, welcome to another Storytime with Josh, and this week we are going to be reading Monster Trouble by Lane Fredrickson. And then, once we're done reading it, I'll show you a puppet I made that's part of a kit you can pick up at the U City Library from our curbside service. So let's start with Monster Trouble. Winifred Schnitzel was never afraid, not of monsters or ghouls, or the noises they made. She loved scary movies, and werewolves and thunder, and peg-legged pirates who bury their plunder. Still, Winifred's bedtime was hardly spook-free. The neighborhood monsters would not let her be. Each night they'd show up and attempt to be scary. Some would growl, some would belch, some were slimy, some hairy. But all of their monsterly mayhem was moot, because Winifred Schnitzel thought monsters were cute. Still, night after night, all those monsters kept creeping into Winifred's room, interrupting her sleeping. Too tired for math, too exhausted for fun, she finally decided these monsters are done. She ordered a book titled Monsters Beware and constructed the sticky string small monster snare. But that night, the big monsters all showed up first. The sticky string snare got so stretched that it burst. There were monsters on bedposts and stuck to the wall. They made slingshots from string. They were having a ball. Winifred sighed. They were louder than ever. She knew that she needed to try something clever. So she brought in some sneaky old Limburger cheese. The label said, "Caution, makes big monsters sneeze." The monsters just called up the Goblin Street Deli. They ordered in bagels and fish eyeball jelly. Winifred barely got through the next day. She dozed off in art class and snoozed through ballet. She decided that's it. I've got to get tough. She was tired of monsters. Enough was enough. So she built every spook trap in Monsters Beware, and one of her own called the Prickly Bum Chair. Poor Winifred yawned. She was so very sleepy. She was starting to look a bit spookishly creepy. When the monsters showed up, with their howling and roaring, Winifred Schnitzel was already snoring. She was dreaming of puppies when a monster went hiss. She reached out and gave him a big, sleepy kiss. The monsters yelled yuck. All the others were heaving. One gagged and one big monster shouted, "I'm leaving." Winifred knew that despite their uniqueness, she'd discovered that monsters have one silly weakness. So she puckered and pouted and kissed them all good. These monsters screamed, running as fast as they could. Now Winifred sleeps soundly at night, and the daytime she's happy and perky and bright. And sometimes she finds that a monster's crept in right around bedtime. With a monsterly grin, she ignores all the growling and rolling and hissing, since the one thing all monsters hate most is kissing. Thank you for listening to that story that I just read. And now I'm going to show you a puppet I made. This is my little buddy, Gregory the Monster. When you pick up your monster puppet make and take kit, inside will be a variety of different craft supplies, such as these ribbons, some googly eyes, some strips of paper, and in this case, I also had some templates that I printed out that have things like ear wings, tongues, tentacles, teeth, and eyes that aren't googly eyes. Now you can color them in if you'd like, but I decided these worked well for little Gregory. All you need to do is, with your parents, use some adhesive, like a nice glue stick, to pick and glue all the parts you want onto your new monster friend. And the way the puppet works is it's just a normal lunch bag that your hand fits inside so he can talk and chomp. And that's the part you want to be careful with, is make sure that the crease for the bag forms his little mouth. Thank you all again for the story time. This is Josh. Have a wonderful rest of your day.